What's going on, everyone? This is Very Mellow Man bringing you the next episode in our Let's Play of Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin Edition. In the last episode, we were basically just getting started out with our character build here. As you can see, we're going for Hexer, that's focused on fire, and as a secondary form of offense, our main form of damage will be Dark Orb. Right now, let's go explore Majula a bit. See what the people have to say.
You're undead, aren't you? You have that distinct scent, the smell of irreversible fate. This is Majula. It is a kind of settlement. A place where life is almost normal. And in Drang Lake these days, there are very few places like that.
Well, less exploring and more just talking to people we didn't get to talk to the first time.
I am Soldan. And like you, I lost everything. And now I'm here. You probably heard that it was possible to break the curse here. Well, that's not true at all. There's nothing here for you, me, or anybody. Do you know much about souls? Even I'm not certain, but I'm told that the soul is the essence of life itself. Anything living, sentient or no, supposedly has one. What we call the curse is traceable to the soul. Do you see what that means? To be alive, to walk this earth. That's the real curse, right there. We undead will never die. And that's quite a predicament, really.
Yeah, so the Crestfallen Soldan right here, he just explained to us the nature of the actual curse that we've attained when we started playing the game. Its benefits and its downfall. You're essentially immortal, you can still die though, but the longer you go on, the more of your humanity you risk losing, until you eventually became a hollow. Just a zombie, basically, with no other form of personality whatsoever.
There are 4 beings in this land with giant souls. And wherever you go from here, you'll sooner or later come up against them. Each has a powerful soul and a terrible curse. If that frightens you, then you ought to just give up right now. Like I have.
So, right now, he just explained to us again what the 4 great ones we're trying to get are. We need to collect their souls. Up there, that's where we're heading, Castle Drang Lake. In order to get there, that black spire in the distance behind the mountains, that's our ultimate goal. In order to get there, we need those 4 giant souls.
Do you ever cry out for help? The journey of an undead is long and treacherous. You'll face invaders from other worlds at every turn. If you need help, why not proclaim faith in the Blue Sentinels? When you face danger, the Blue Sentinels will come to your aid. Protection is yours, if you wish. You need only accept their kind embrace.
And if you talk to Soldan enough times, you can join the first covenant available to you in the game, the Way of Blue.
I see.
But we're not going to do that.
Then you'll have to brave this treacherous journey on your own. If you ever require help, come back Anytime. I will stay here and pray for your safety.
A covenant is basically what your player character can join in order to gain special perks and benefits related to that covenant. Like, for example, if you join the Way of Blue, you get a special ring that you can wear. And when you wear that ring, you're invaded by a red phantom. A blue phantom from a different covenant will have a chance to spawn in your world to help you defend against the red phantom. It's basically a ring that encourages co-op. However, because of how rare it is for players to be invaded by phantoms, and how finicky this particular version of the system really is, the Way of Blue is a pretty weak covenant in general, and it doesn't have a lot of benefits in the practical realm. So let's look at this. This counts exactly how many people have died in as many times over the course of this game's running lifespan. As of this recording, the number is exactly 205,627,251 deaths worldwide. And that's just for this version of the game. On the PS3 version of the game, I'm pretty sure the number's much higher. Third person we need to talk to. Sweet Shalquar.
Oh, undead, are we?
Sweet.
And one without much time remaining. Just about ready to fall apart, I'd say. Not exactly the time to be chatting with a cat. Well, suit yourself. Oh yes, you may call me Shalquar. Enchanté. So, what did you want anyway? Ooh, you smell wonderful.
Right. One of the functions of Sweet Shalquar is to allow you to abandon whatever covenant you've joined without any loss of karma. Because see, when you just join a new covenant, when you're already a member of a previous one, you will experience some loss of overall positive karma, as well as progress with that current covenant. Hold on a second. Alright, that's how abandoning your covenant works. This covenant lets you check every total covenant you've unlocked and you've been a member of, and check your progress in each covenant's ranking system. Each covenant has 3 ranks to it. When you first join a covenant, you're automatically rank 1. But yeah. Rank 2, rank 3. Obviously, when you get to rank 3, you get the best the Covenant has to offer in terms of rewards and perks. And you can buy stuff from Sweet Shalquar as well. Rings are, frankly, kind of expensive for where we're at right now. They're not, like, game-breaking at all. They're mostly just utility and some items. Also, utility, nothing really powerful. But what we really came here to do was get some lore from her.
This place is already dead. Everything will crumble and waste away so that something new may be born. Isn't it wonderful? This place is fascinating. We receive only the most peculiar visitors. Folk like yourself. It's enough to keep even a cat amused.
So, Shalquar is talking about Majula and how it's basically just an empty little place right now that's really not got that many people in it.
Are you going to see the old ones? Those four who have grown so incredibly ancient. They must have sprouted quite a thick coat of moss by now. For heaven's sake, no one even knows their names anymore. Imagine that. Yes, nothing like yourself. For you have a most pleasant scent that grows nicer with each passing day.
So yeah.
Nothing suited you, I presume? Well, that's dismaying.
There's one last person in Majula we have to talk to. I just want to note for the record that that's 3 people, the Emerald Herald, Crestfallen Soldan, and now Sweet Shalquar, that have pointed us in the direction of seeking out the 4 great souls. So basically, that's the gist of the plot here. No, so those 3 people are our only source of plot. Now, who's this guy?
Hello there. Welcome to my shop. I'm Morlin, and I sell armor. Oh, sorry, Please do have a look at my wares. I could really use the business. If you'd be so kind.
Yeah. He sells you armor. Just armor. The trick of him, though, is that if you spend enough souls at his shop, you can upgrade his stock. Like how if you buy enough items from Merlinda and spend at least 10,000 souls on her, she'll give you the coveted Silver Serpent Ring.
Well, I do hope I see you again.
We don't need him because our current armor is pretty much up to snuff. So let's travel here and get those 2 treasure chests that we didn't open last video because I wanted to save a surprise for you guys. Next video. Two human effigy. An adult ember. Can't use these yet, but we will get around to it. When we defeat the Dragon Rider, we unlocked the connecting area. That allows us to go to the next area we're actually trying to get to. As you can see, our Fire Longsword doesn't do as much damage as a Dark Orb casting will, but it is getting up there. The more we can upgrade it. It's at +3 right now, so it's pretty nice. These are Cyan Knights. And we see one in the Scarlet Person Edition, assume they're guarding something important, because they often are. Sublime Bone Dust. Sublime Bone Dust is very important. We use it, and you burn it at the Majula Bonfire, you'll be able to improve how much health your Estus Flask will recover. Why don't you take a look at this statue? Statues like these are basically roadblocks. They're meant to keep you from exploring certain areas earlier than you should. Or just to block off secrets that you need a certain item to unlock access to anyway.
Is that a shard you found?
Yeah.
Here, to see luck. However,
If you have any spare Estus Flask shards, the Herald will gladly remind you of that fact. Now we have Sublime Bone Dust to burn. Cast them into the Far Fire Majula. charred ashen bones to increase HP restored with each use of your flask. They say these are the remains of a saint who cast herself into the bonfire, but we will never know for sure, for Soot and ashes tell no story. Right. Alright, so now let's go back to No Man's Wharf. Alright. For this area specifically, we want to use the torch mechanic so we can light our way across. Woo! See, this here is a summon sign. One of those, I can just resummon you whenever I want summon signs. Bradley of the Old Guard. Bradley is a very useful summon to have for No Man's Wharf in general. We're not gonna waste him quite yet. Titan shard. And that's what I get for not looking where I'm going. That was just pure recklessness. And I'm not... Let's summon Bradley for a minute. Damaged, Bradley will cast a miracle that heals you. It's very considerate. He even buffs his weapon. Trying to do is get up here. Time, this task is completed, so it can't be summoned again. So he helped out for a bit. Pointless. Yeah. See those things over there? These things basically die when hit the Dark Orb. Nice. But it's a little tricky to get them in that position. Now dock that pirate ship I told you about. That's strange. Normally there's supposed to be a little cutscene playing that shows this, but oh, good to see it in real time. Yeah, those giant green monsters, they don't like bright lights. That's the main reason I lit that giant candle up there, just to make it easier to traverse the area. I could have died if I hadn't paid any more attention. Royal Soldier's Ring. And a fragrant branch of yore. A fragrant tree branch with a faint, sweet smell. Restores the life of things turned to stone. Extended inhalation of the branch's scent can lead to coughing and nausea. Right. The fragrant branch of yore. I showed you guys a stone statue blocking a stairwell earlier. Well, that's what the purpose of a fragrant branch of yore is. It's supposed to be used to get rid of stuff like that statue. Open up new areas. Whew. Oh my god. All right. Ooh. Here he is. Gavlan.
Who are you? I, Gavlan. Gavlan will, Gavlan deal. Gavlan wants soul. Many, many soul. What you want. With Gavlan, you will, you deal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, on top of the fact that you can buy stuff like a Ring of Giants to increase your poise, he mostly deals in poison. So you got Rotten Pine Resin gives your weapon a poison buff, Poison Throwing Knives to inflict poison on your enemies, Poison Moss to basically heal yourself from poison. You also get Poison Arrows, do the same thing as Poison Throwing Daggers. But one of the best things about Lonesome Gavlan here is the ability to sell items to him by having to consume them. And when you sell items to him, you get souls in exchange. This is important because in the very first Souls game, Demon's Souls, there was no way to sell any items you had. None. When you bought something, you bought it for life. So, when Dark Souls 1 came along, introduced a way to sell items to a peculiar merchant, who I will not name right now, and that feature was brought back into an actual merchant character in this game. So it's pretty interesting. Let's see here. Let's just sell Broken Thief Sword for 50 souls. That's just an example.
Gavlan will, Gavlan deal. Gavlan wants soul. Many, many soul. What you want. With Gavlan, you will, you deal.
Alright, I have to go to the bathroom for a bit.
Many deal, many thanks.
Open up little shortcut there. Repair powder and a Titan shot. Ooh. To unlock another shortcut. I mostly kind of kicked myself for this one because this shortcut, out of all of them, was the one I always ended up missing whenever in my first handful of playthroughs of Dark Souls 2. It's the point where, because of that, this area ended up being much harder to me than I believed it actually was, because progress was marked by how far you had to backtrack. Opening up shortcuts is the best way to make the levels more accessible. Here we go.
What is it? I don't know you, and you don't know me. Things are better that way. You are an odd one. Normally, people keep a safe distance when they see this mask. But you... I'm called Lucatiel. From the land of Mira to the far east, across the mountains. They say Drang Lake brims with powerful souls. And so I came to claim my share.
Not because,
But what a strange
because,
place. Even the rumors did not prepare me.
This is Lucatiel of Mira. She has she's one of the few NPCs in this game with a quest line related to her. And this quest line is even marked by her having a trophy. Basically, like Kale the Cartographer also technically has a quest line marked by a trophy. But hers is probably a bit more... both quest lines will span you the entirety of the game if you do them in order. But I think Lucatiel can technically just farm to completion and not have to worry about her if you're willing to use Bonfire Ascetic and make the areas harder for yourself. In my view, it's just for the best if you just remember where she is. You can summon her enough times to complete her quest line. Yeah, complete Lucatiel's quest line. You have to summon her for certain boss fights and then survive the boss fight with Lucatiel alive as well. That's genuinely how you complete quest lines of that nature, and she's not the only NPC in the game who functions like this.
You are an odd one indeed. I've always made a point of avoiding people, while you've made a point of engaging me. I can see that you are mid-journey. If you require assistance, I will help you. I come from Mira, a land of knights. My sword is always ready. Don't hesitate to call upon me. Whatever happens, I won't be missed. You are an odd one indeed. Well, you've made a... I can see that you are mid-journey. I come from Mira, a land of... Don't hesitate to call...
And that's that. That's how you unlock Lucatiel of Mira. It's someone you can summon to help you in your journey. Her summon sign, in fact, is right here. But we're not going to do that quite yet. Huh. I'm just wasting flame butterflies, because you'll stock up on flame butterflies over the course of your journey, rest assured. Who's this handsome gentleman?
I sense power. Very well. From this day, you shall be my new pupil. I am Kerillian. Kerillian of the Fold. Surely you've heard the name. Now, do not be afraid. Let us explore the limits of sorcery.
Right. Buy a generic sorcerer staff, a couple of rings relate to sorcery. Actually, you might want the clear blue stone ring. And herbs to restore spell use. But more importantly, is the fact that he's your sorcery merchant, so he stocks you up on basically your basic tier sorcery spells for the rest of the game. If you're playing a pure sorcery character, or if you're playing a character whose primary forms of ranged offense is sorcery, this is the guy you want to get to as soon as you can. Especially since he has some pretty interesting utility spells too, like Yearn.
The forces of magic and souls lie dormant in this land. It is a fitting place to hone my sorceries. I suspect that I may even conjure up new spells here. Sorcery is yet a mystery even to me. Let us mature together, young pupil. Use scrolls to unleash the power of sorceries. But the power of each scroll is reliant on that of its owner. The untrained cannot wield a scroll to its proper potential. Never forget, young pupil, there are no shortcuts to mastery. The forces of magic, it is, I saw, you scroll, but the...
Right.
Never, young pupil, do not take my teachings lightly.
Like the Hex teacher we met earlier in the last video, in order to get Kerillian to actually sell you his sorceries, you need to have a certain base level of intelligence in your stat. And we definitely have more than enough intelligence to get him to talk to us, so that part was fine. Oh, hey. Sure, the more the merrier. I mean, I'm not picky about summoning for boss fights. Especially since nowadays, it's actually kind of hard to do any type of co-op. At least in my case, it has been, so I'll take what I can get. Well, alright then. Oh my god. We're not gonna bother with that guy. Don't need to. Come on, Bradley. Alright. Now, each summon you bring into a boss fight will increase the boss's HP, so keep in mind with that. Brought Lucatiel here with you. The main strategy is to just have Lucatiel tank and draw aggro while you pick apart the boss either with melee or ranged attacks. You brought Bradley Wilgar with you, it's pretty much just more of the same. do it. Even so, this boss is the big deal, so... It's really the main reason to summon is for the Lucatiel trophy, but... Oh, another gimmick about this boss fight is that the longer it goes on, the more this arena fills with water. And the more water in the arena, the more your movement is hindered. So there's that. Before you go any further, open this chest. Because it gives you a Pyromancy Flame and a Fireball Scroll for your spellbook. This is like the best way to get a Pyromancy Glove. Like, literally the best way in the game. It's the only free one. Yeah, that was a pirate ship. Let's get the soul related to our new kill while we're at it. The Flexile Sentry Soul. Soul the Flexile Sentry. The Flexile Sentry is a merciless creature whose purpose is to punish the undead. Use the special soul of the Flexile Sentry to acquire numerous souls or create something of great worth. Yeah, while we're here, soul of a dragon rider who faithfully served King Vendrick. Long ago, the dragon riders mounted wyverns and were feared on the battlefield for their unparalleled strength. So yeah, the dragon riders, they're technically not bosses. They're actually the elite knights under King Vendrick. And a lot of them are basic. They're tough. I'm not saying they're pushovers exactly in a straight fight, but they're not like they are part of his elite guard for a reason. The Pursuer. Soul of the Pursuer who lurks in Drag Lake. The Pursuer who seeks the bearer of the sign will not rest till Star is slain. Ah, yes. The Pursuer will actually show up in multiple areas of the game outside of his boss fight after you kill him. That's like his gimmick. It was supposed to be the same way in the original version of Dark Souls 2, but obviously there's been some limitations on that front that couldn't allow the developers to fully implement that idea, but it's better implemented in this game. Soul of the Last Giant. Soul of the surviving giant who was bound below the forest of the giants. The Lord of the Giants, who had brought wreck and ruined the entire kingdom, was said to have been felled by an unknown warrior. His beaten and broken remains were then dragged beneath the stronghold, where he was sealed away. Yeah. So, in the original game, the Last Giant and the actual Lord of Giants that this entry is referring to were ambiguously connected. There are hints, but no outward confirmation that they were actually the same being. In Scholar for Sin, the lore for this soul updated to better reflect the fact that yes, the Last Giant is actually the Lord of the Giants that was defeated by Vendrick's forces many a year ago. So the lore of this entire place is actually pretty interesting. Vendrick's Dragon Riders are basically standing guard, even though standing guard on his order. And you run into them, I think, the closer you get to Vendrick. I have played the game before, so I'm just trying to phrase this in a way that makes sense. But the closer you get to Vendrick, the more Dragon Riders you'll actually see. The Flexile Sentry... Those two didn't used to be down here in the original version of the game, but they do belong here. The Vangarian, I think, are basically responsible for helping the 7th century ferry souls to this prison. Visions are pointless, yeah. The Lost Bastille.
Bearer of the curse, seek soul, seek thick, lest this...
Alright. Here's Carhillion of the Fold, moved out of the No Man's Wharf.
Oh, so you finally decided to join us. Let us resume our exploration of sorcery. The forces of men, it is, I saw. One day might...
And yeah, if you're able to notice it when we first selected our character, Carhillion is wearing the default gear for the Sorcerer class. Which I think is supposed to be a visual cue for what you can expect from him in terms of spell utility. Ooh. You have a large Titanite shard, so let's upgrade our sword.
I'll be around.
Alright. Regression bit. So yeah, if you beat the Pursuer, this is one way you can get into the Lost Bastille. And if you beat the Dragon Rider, then proceed to No Man's Wharf, that's the second way to get here. The game's kind of open world-ish like that. Yikes. That particular attack will get you. And it can trip you up and make you roll in directions that are undesirable. Ooh. You summon a dark spirit. This is a red sign, which allows you to summon a red spirit to your world in order to battle the spirit personally. If you want to do that, it's up to you. Flinkering Titanite for my trouble. Nice. Jeez. This is where you get another fragrant branch of yore, a human effigy, and the original Covetous Silver Serpent ring. Right, let me explain this. You notice that the ring Melinta gave us is a +1 ring, right? We just found the regular ring. In this game, the rings have 3 versions to themselves. The regular version right here, and +1 and +2 versions of themselves. What that means is that the +1 and +2 versions are more powerful than the preceding version, with better effects. As you can see here, however, they're also heavier to equip. So there's so you might want to think twice about equipping them just because. That being said, there's not much of a loss here to keep the +1 ring on. Another thing is that, let me see. The +2 versions are typically only accessible normally when you play a New Game Plus game, because they're hidden behind New Game Plus versions of the boss fights. This is where you can find Lucatiel if you didn't find her in Normandsworth first.
I thought that might be you. You haven't changed a bit, have you? The longer I am here, the more madness I discover. A wretched place indeed, but not without traces of its former glory. What could have caused such degradation? Ah, yes. I have not thanked you for humoring me the other day. This is for you.
Alright. And for, I don't know if this is for successfully keeping her alive for one boss fight, or if it's just for meeting her in a second location. But you get a second human effigy from her.
Our land of Mirror is surrounded by enemies, and constantly at war. There is only one way up in Mirror. Join the Order and prove yourself in battle. My family had little fortune and no name. I had to carve out a piece of the world for myself. With two things. My sword and my loyalty to my lord.
Alright. Antiquary key. I forgot what that's for. A very old key. This key is very old, but in a very good condition, such as should still function. Only what lock does this key fit? I forgot. It's been a while.
I was raised to wield a sword from birth. Life was hard, but I never gave it a second thought. I had swift success on the battlefield and quickly attained respectable stature.
Some weirdo.
And then
Yeah.
And then I came here to... Have you heard of the undead? These poor souls affected by the curse. An undead gradually loses his humanity until his wits degrade completely. Finally, he turns hollow and preys upon others. And a hollow can never be human again. One can skirt this wicked fate only with the help of the souls found here. Assuming, of course, that the legends are true. I can only hope that they are.
Alright. So, we learn a bit more about Lucatiel's backstory here. She was trained from birth to be a soldier for her homeland. Which is interesting, but more importantly is the fact that she knows what the undead are. But from the way she talks, she believes she isn't one of them. Just something to keep in mind. Guess you need to unlock that bonfire in order to actually get to the person I'm trying to get to. That blacksmith down there. And Lucatiel's gone. Come on. I'm actually out of Homeward Bone. Wow. I have to actually buy more Homeward Bone. You are not an idiot. You're not an idiot.
Oh, you do have the type. Satisfied? I'll be around if you ever come back.
Alright. want to light our torch is because it's got a sconce in here. Let me talk to this guy.
Oh, why can't they all be this easy? We've got a wild one here. Shape up. Shape up, I say. Oh, that's it, yes. That's the way. Dear flame, how brightly you burn. Flame, I smell flame upon you. I'm Macduff the blacksmith. All I want is a little flame. So, hand that ember to me. Right now, you imbecile.
The dull ember. Fun fact, in the original version of this game, the dull ember isn't unlocked until you get to a later area in the game. Basically around the midpoint of the game. So this blacksmith is a lot easier. I mean, this blacksmith is a lot easier to use this time around in Scholar of the First Sin. But you couldn't bring him up to his full potential until the mid-game of the original version.
What a marvelous ember. You've got stones, I pray. Give me stones, and I'll fortify your gear.
Right. And with this guy, you get the ability to infuse weapons. Here's how it works. You select the weapon with no infusion, then you use any one of these 9 stones. We don't have any, but the point is that depending on what you infuse a weapon with, it'll give that weapon either bonus damage relating to an element, or some sort of additional auxiliary effect. Like Poison Stone to give your weapon the ability to poison people on hit. Dark Stone to give your weapon dark elemental scaling. Stuff like that.
Flame, dear flame, I give you my all, and you waver and falter.
He has more advanced weaponry than what large Titanite shard. 1. I already spent 1, so we need 2.
From the start of time, flame allowed man to flourish, and even now he devises new fiery arts, but his reason makes him doubt flame. And so we waver and falter. Flame, dear flame.
Alright. Let's rest and relax. And you see he's moved now, so let's open this up. 2 free large Titanite shards. I forgot those were there. 10 free iron arrows. 10 free heavy bolts. 5 free Titanite shards. And the chest we're sitting on has a craftsman's hammer and 1 twinkling Titanite.
I ought to fetch a new ember. Flame, dear flame.
Alright, so let's reinforce our weapons. The fire longsword can go up to +6 now. To the point where we need a titanite chunk for it. On the other hand, we also have our Sunset Staff, which needs way more souls than what we have in our stock right now.
Out, foot.
There we go. As you can see here, upgrading the Sunset Staff even once really kicks up our hex damage. I mean, really kicks it up.
The power of flame. And so, flame. Flame, I give you my all. Flame.
Alright.
And even now, but and so the power and flame.
Alright. Still takes us about 5 one-handed combos. These guys are kind of tricky. And, of course, you need one of the fragrant branches of yore to get past this guy. Reason we're bringing 2 Phantoms is because this is technically going to be a 3-on-3 fight. Probably back. Oh boy. Awesome boss fight, but my god. Oh hey, you lost your shield, good. The only part is I have to do all that over again, which is not going to be fun. Right. Here's the thing. When Melinta moves to Missoula, you get to buy an infinite amount of life gems.
Thanks.
The statue guy doesn't respond, so I'll make this faster. Come on! Come on! If you could hear that large thump, that was not me. It's coming from outside my house. times the charm? Holy crap. Can't remember the last time I ever beat those guys solo. Man, there's a few hidden rooms in this place. Okay. Okay. Those were the servants' quarters. So, let's just read the soul description of that guy. The Flexile Sentry soul. Soul the Flexile Sentry. No. Wrong soul. Ruined Sentinel. There we go. Soul of the Ruined Sentinel, a creation of the Jailer. The Ruined Sentinel has no corporeal form, it is only an empty soul that haunts the armor. So yeah, all the Ruined Sentinels we just fought, they're not men. They're not even hollow. They're just animated armors. I discussed that with a buddy in the last stream, how there aren't technically any human bosses in the game, just humanoid bosses. And the Ruined Sentinels are basically humanoid bosses. Now, here's the thing. One of the critiques of Dark Souls 2 is that there are too many humanoid bosses. And it's a critique I actually do agree with, because late into the game, when we finally get into Drang Lake Castle, we'll be fighting more Ruined Sentinels. And it's like, I don't know, did they have to be hidden behind a boss fog gate? Couldn't you have just, like, made us fight these three as the mini-bosses they really are? I mean, I appreciate the soul, but but my criticism still stands. I just think there are too many humanoid bosses. Or at least there aren't enough significant humanoid bosses. These guys are just jailers. They're just creations of a jailer. Not really significant enough to warrant being hidden behind a boss gate in terms of lore importance. Neither they or the Dragon Ruler. The Dragon Rulers are just Vendrick soldiers, and the jailers are even less than that. So, well, I still like the game. It's just, I do have that particular critique of it. And speaking of which, that's pretty much all we're going to be doing for today, in regards to Dark Souls 2. I may not feel like we got a lot done, but we did technically clear out an entire area, the No Man's Wharf. And we did defeat 2 bosses today, even if I just discussed why one of them shouldn't be a boss. We also defeat the Pursuer again, after a few tries. In fact, speaking of tries, I'm surprised at myself. I might technically be a little over-leveled, but that's just a damaging stat. I've never beaten the Flexile Sentry without summoning even one person before, so I feel really, really good right now. And I know it's probably not a big accomplishment to some of you, because you've probably been able to do that for years at this point, but given my setup, it's kind of like, I don't know, it just makes me nervous fighting multiple bosses at once. So, especially since those are technically pretty fast guys, and having to fight all 3 of them is definitely not something you want to do. But I will always be proud of the fact that I almost beat the 3 bosses when I lost both my summons. And the only reason I lost was because I lost track of which of the boss fights I should have been paying attention to. So anyway, in the next video, we'll continue on our exploration of the Lost Bastille. In fact, we should be getting pretty close to the first of the great Soul Bearers. Just stick around for that. If you liked today's video, leave a like and subscribe to my channel for future content. Thank you guys for watching. I seriously enjoy your company. And just your eyes. Even if you don't say anything in the stream, it's still humbling if you guys just decide to watch. So I'll see you, any of you, next time. Take care.